Unit 9, Direct Instruction. Rule 8 was when one consonant is between two vowels, we would divide the word before the consonant and make the first vowel sound long. But if the word doesn't sound familiar, use Rule 9 where you divide the word after the consonant and make the first vowel sound short. We have rapid. The train moved at a rapid pace. Rapid. But if we used Rule 8, it would sound like rapid. So we are going to change it and put it after the P. Credit. Pat does not have a credit card. Credit. Rule 8 would make it sound like credit. We don't want that. It doesn't sound right. So we say credit. Copy. Please make a copy of the letter and send it to my office. Copy. In this instance, the Y acts like the vowel because it says the E sound. Rule 8 would make it sound like copy. So we want to go with Rule 9 here, copy. Linen. She disliked her linen pants because they wrinkled in easily. Linen. Rule 8 would make it sound like linen, so we use Rule 9 here because that didn't sound familiar and say linen. Study. I will study for the test tonight. If we used Rule 8, it would say stu-d. So that's why it doesn't sound familiar. And so we go with Rule 9, study. Dragon. A dragon is not a real animal. If we used Rule 8, though, it would say dragon. And so we use Rule 9 here and go with dragon. Pedal. The 3-year-old will learn how to pedal a tricycle. Rule 8 would make it sound like pedal. So we want to go with Rule 9 because that doesn't sound familiar. Pedal. Timid. The lamb is a timid animal, meaning very shy. Timid. Rule 8 would make it sound like timid. We've never heard that word before, so we're going to use Rule 9. Robin. The robin is the first sign of spring. Rob in. Rule 8 would make it sound like robin. Well, that's not a familiar word, so we use Rule 9 here. Rob in. Product. The story is a product of her hard work. Product. Rule 8 would make it sound like product. That's not a word we're familiar with, so we say product. Wagon. My great-grandparents traveled to Nebraska in a covered wagon. Wagon. Rule 8 would make it sound like wagon. That doesn't sound familiar, so we split it after the consonant and make the first vowel short. Wagon. Second. My brother is in the 2nd grade. Second. If we did it like Rule 8, it would say second. That doesn't sound familiar. So we break it after the consonant and make the first vowel short. Second. Finish. Please finish your schoolwork before going outside. Finish. Rule 8 would make it sound like finish. Well, that's not a word we know, so we separate it after the consonant and make the first vowel short. Finish. Modern. Computers are a sign of our modern age. Modern. Rule 8 would make it sound like modern. That isn't one we're familiar with either. So we use Rule 9 and separate it after the D. Modern. Panel. A panel of judges will decide who won the contest. Panel. Rule 8 would make it sound like panel. Well, that isn't a familiar word, so we're going to use Rule 9 and make it panel. Magic. He amazed his friends with his magic tricks. Magic. If we said it like Rule 8, it would say magic. We don't know that word, so we use Rule 9 and separate it after the G, making the A short. Magic. Menu. I wonder what's on the menu for tomorrow. Menu. Rule 8 would make it sound like menu. That sounds like foreign language. So we're going to stick with English here and separate it after the N, making the U short. Menu. Visit. Jack will visit us this summer. If we used Rule 8, it would say visit. Well, that almost sounds German, but we're going to stick with English again and go with visit, a short vowel in the first syllable. Volume. Turn down the volume on the radio. Rule 8 would make the O long, so it would sound like volume. We are going to separate it after the L, making the O short, so it says volume. Closet. Hang your clothes in the closet. Rule 8 would make it sound like closet. We want to stick with something that's familiar, so we're going to keep that vowel short and separate it after the consonant S. Closet.